let's have a little look at the history of Sanskrit. I think I've driven home the importance of Sanskrit here and some little important things to notice in where Sanskrit might differ to English. So I'm not going to spend too long on the history of Sanskrit because this is an extensive topic of which people do entire degrees on. I am just touching on a few important things that I think you need to know in order to get a bit of a grounding in this language. So have a look at the language tree that I made at the side there. The language of Sanskrit began as an oral language. It existed before writing, okay? And it was orally transmitted. And it came from the dawn of creation, if you subscribe to the beliefs of Sanatana Dharma, which people slangily call as Hinduism. We believe that this language was handed down from literally God and the gods, or the devas themselves. And then it was passed down to Lord Brahma, who then passed it to all the living entities, which is us. Now, over time, we constructed a written script for this language. We wanted to write things down. Now, this was Vedic Sanskrit. Have a look. 1500 BCE. BCE means before the Common Era, okay? And this was Vedic Sanskrit. It's a very old form of Sanskrit. And this is what the 4 original Vedas are written in. So the Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Atha Veda, all of those are written in Vedic Sanskrit. Good luck trying to figure that one out. The good news is that out of Vedic Sanskrit, classical Sanskrit was born around 500 BCE. And this is where we really see writing taking off. And all of the texts that you will be studying in your course, like the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Sutras, they are all written in classical Sanskrit. Valmiki Ramayana, Mahabharat, they are all written in classical Sanskrit. And that is the kind of Sanskrit we're going to be using. And that is the kind of Sanskrit that I teach. The alphabet itself is called the Varnamala. So please look at the pictures. There's a beautiful picture there. It says Varnamala on it. This Varnamala means garland of syllables, okay? Mala is a garland, okay? Varna is syllables. Because these are beautiful sounds that are all strung together into this beautiful mala. Now, if you look under the picture of Varnamala, you will see a rishi called Panini Maharishi. He was the one around the classical Sanskrit period. We're not sure if it was the 4th or 5th century BCE. The jury is still out on that. We're not really sure when he existed and walked the earth. He codified the language. You got to remember, this language started as a spoken language and over a very, very big region. So the language would vary across the region. So what did the language need once it took a written form? It needed rules. And the rules, and I don't want to freak everyone out, there are 4,000 rules. And the good news is you don't have to memorize all those 4,000 rules in order to do this course. But if you go to a Pathashala in India to learn Sanskrit, you do have to memorize these 4,000 rules. And they are written in a text called Ashtadhyayi, okay? So if you're interested in that, you can look up Ashtadhyayi later on. But these are like, you guys have looked at the Yoga Sutras already, right? Or at least some of you may have looked at the Yoga Sutras. Sutras are condensed verses. They're not like verses in the scriptures. They're very condensed. And that's what these are. They're condensed rules of grammar. And actually, they're quite hard to understand and demystify. You need a teacher really to do that. So all of the rules and all of the structure of the language are codified by Panini Maharishi in the Ashtadhyayi. And all of the classical texts that you guys are studying as part of your course and that you will be using as yoga teachers use this Ashtadhyayi, these Ashtadhyayi rules. So whether you dive into that or not, you are still benefiting from that text today, all of these centuries later. So that's a little bit about the history of Sanskrit. And as you'll see, all of these South Asian languages have come from Sanskrit. Hindi, Bengali, Marathi, Sindhi, Punjabi, Gujarati, Assamese. Even look at the scripts. They look so similar. And even Marathi Sindhi and Hindi use the Varnamala. Gujaratis lost the top line, but they look very, very similar. So that's enough about the history. I don't want to drain everyone's brain out.